saying that it was way too high-end to simply do homework on. I was glad to have it now, though. Fields of Fantasy had some demanding system requirements. As I waited for the disc to install, I skimmed through the instructions. It was an adventure game, sort of Dungeons & Dragons meets Lord of the Rings type of thing. You played online, creating a character to fight monsters and to win treasure. I'd watched Dad play for hours. He was totally addicted, and it always looked like such fun. I was thrilled to finally have a chance to become a gamer girl myself. Not to mention it would be great to get some quality alone time with Dad, something that rarely happened, even during our weekend visits, mostly because Emily was endlessly demanding something to steal Dad's attention away from me. My computer chirped at me, confirming the game had been loaded and was ready to play. I clicked on the desktop icon and logged on. The program launched and stopped at a player selection screen, prompting me to design my new character. There were lots of different-looking types to choose from. Some were human, while others were random species. Elves, halflings, orcs, and even undead creatures. I decided to go with a female elf, giving her long, blonde hair and sparkling blue eyes. She had a pouty red mouth, big breasts, and a skinny waist, about as different as you can get from the black-haired, brown-eyed, flat-chested, real-life me, which was exactly what I was looking for, actually. This way I could prance around the virtual world with ease, masked as an ethereal goddess, and no one online would have any clue what an ugly duckling hid behind this flawless elven chin. Now if only I could send my character to school, all of the boys would go wild over me. That would sure show the haters, as I now like to call them. No, school had not gotten any better, in case you were wondering. My third week into Hannah Dustin was just as sucky as the first. I'd yet to make a single friend, and each and every day the haters would go out of their way to make my life hell. My only consolation was all the inspiration it was giving me for my art, which had become full of the best comebacks and revenges on Billy. On paper, I was the most popular girl in school. I turned back to the game, not wanting to think about school. It was time to give my alter ego elf goddess a job. I studied the choices presented. She could be a brave, fearless knight, a holy, healing priest, or a wise, all-powerful magician. I glanced at the elf. She was so skinny, and I wasn't sure about her wielding some huge sword. And she was certainly way too sexy to be a priest. That left magician. Having made all my selections, I had to pick a name. I wanted something cooler than simply Maddie, which always sounded more like an anger management problem than a name to me. After some thought, I chose Allura, which was beautiful and exotic and fit my elf perfectly. After a dramatic introduction with sword clashing and spell casting and rather thrilling music, the game cut to a cartoon scene of Allura, standing in a small, colorful elven village. She was dressed in a low-cut red robe and carrying a big stick. She looked up at me and smiled, giving me a sly wink, as if she knew I was there. I was there, watching, ready to take control of her destiny. It was kind of weird, actually, but at the same time, it was pretty cool. I used the mouse and keyboard, as the instructions stated, to run Allura around the village. There were thatch-roofed huts, grassy paths, and drooping, weeping willow trees with cartoon faces carved into their trunks. I bumped into several other characters dressed in medieval-style gear, and also wandering about. A man in a beige tunic winked at me. A woman in chainmail waved hello. I stopped, realizing that all the characters on screen were being controlled by real-life people logged on from their own computers in their own homes. I watched in amazement for a moment as the various elves, halflings, and humans bustled around the town, going about their business as if this were their everyday existence. Who were these people? Where did they come from? And what possessed them to take on a character and play this game? Were they bored? Lonely? Did they seek adventure? New friends? Or were they just trying to escape real life for a few hours? The whole concept was so cool. Being part of an online community where people mingled and made friends with people they would never meet in real life. In the game, no one had any clue who I was, and they didn't care either. I wasn't a loser who hadn't made a single friend at our new school. I was a beautiful elven princess who was studying to be a mage, and no one had any idea that I had once spent a whole day wearing frolicking unicorns on my chest. Thank God. I smiled. So cool. I couldn't wait to thank Dad for getting me the game. In fact, maybe he was online right now. I scanned his letter to find his character name. Rockstar Bob. Okay then, not the name that I would have picked for a medieval fantasy character, but whatever. I followed the instructions and typed him a message using the game's instant messaging feature. Hey Dad, I got the game. Hey kiddo, I'm glad. How do you like it so far? Well, I just logged on, so I haven't really done much exploring. Ah. Do you want to come meet me, I guess? Hang on a second, hun. KK, back. I didn't realize you'd be online right now. So I started playing with some friends. We're in this big dungeon right in the middle of fighting some monsters. Oh, okay. Can I come watch you? Heh, no, sweetie. You're too low a level. You'd never make it in alive. Oh. Why don't you go play with yourself for a while and level up? And then later in the week we can play together. I can meet you after school on Thursday, around 5. Just go to the Elf Tree Cafe, okay? See you there. Okay, sounds cool. Good. See you then. Thanks for the game. You're welcome, kiddo. I think you're gonna love it. Maddie, cake time, my mother called. Reluctantly, I logged off the game and trudged downstairs. I guess it was just too much to expect of my dad, to be sitting around waiting for me to log on. After all, how would he know when we were celebrating my birthday? It's not like Mom ever sent him an Evite. And he did say he'd meet me Thursday. That'd be cool. At the very least, it would give me something to look forward to when trying to survive yet another week of high school.